everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're in a little bit different of a setting today. We're at the tattoo shop. We got some microphones going on, some good lighting, and we're with Stevie, my mentor, which is very exciting. And today, I'm gonna interview him, and we're honestly just gonna have like a little podcast moment and chat about apprenticeships, because that's pretty much what this whole channel is about. And I feel like I've never seen a YouTube video of like the mentor and the apprentice like talking about their experiences. And so I just kind of want to get into your experience leading up to like where we are now. You get it?
Yeah.
All right. So first, what initially drew you into tattooing? Like what made you want to tattoo?
So me getting into tattooing is not going to be as cool and like
that's okay.
Like a huge, cool, revealing, awesome, deep moment. So I needed a job. That's really what it came down to. I had lost my job. We were in like kind of an economy where there were no jobs out there. I had a young baby. He was only like 3 months old at the time. And I needed to find a job. I had friends that were in the tattoo industry. I asked them if it was actually like a good, viable job, like if you could make a sustainable living off of it. And one of my good friends, he said that you know, he started like listing off. He's like, I've got a house and I've got my motorcycles and I've got my cars and I've got all these pets, and like he's like, yeah, it works. And so the shop where I was apprenticing, they had just opened their third location. And they had room for an apprentice, so I went and asked, and he didn't say yes, but I kind of just didn't take no for an answer. He said like, yeah, you can come in and like hang out and see if you vibe with the rest of the shop, and like we'll go from there. Because I came to him with, I wouldn't even call it a portfolio. I came to him with like literally a handful of like maybe 5 drawings. I was like, these are tattoo-ish. It was like,
were they good?
No, it was like a kind of traditional, kind of neo-trad-y, kind of new school-y like anchor, and then like a sugar skull, and I think maybe like a really shitty mandala, like a few random things where I was like, these could be tattoos, and he's like, yeah, no, maybe one day, but like,
yeah.
He's like, okay, like, you know, come in and see if you actually like have drive for it, and if you can actually like, I think he wanted to see if I would actually show up.
Yeah.
And so I was unemployed, so I just started going every day until he was like, okay, I guess we'll like buy some supplies and like get another workstation for you so you can actually like do this.
So what was like the process for you? Because I know, just like in a summary kind of, because I know apprenticeships have evolved and they're very different from shop to shop.
They're like snowflakes. No two apprenticeships look exactly the same. It's hard to sum up in like an eloquent way. I feel like I had close to a traditional apprenticeship. It wasn't like super old school, like the really old school traditional apprenticeships is like, it's almost like the military approach where like they're being an asshole to you intentionally. Because part of it is that same mentality of like, well, if somebody comes up and like walks in and gets their feathers ruffled and stuff like that, like you have to be able to respond calmly and you have to be able to handle it. Yeah. I can tell you that that's happened maybe like once in the past 12 years that I can think of, where somebody like got like an escalated state of mind and like started like getting loud or whatever. It doesn't really happen that much, but that was kind of part of it. And then it was also sort of like a rite of passage. Like you had to go through what they went through. So it was a little bit of that. It was a lot of just, you know, it's slave labor at first. You're just coming in, mopping, sweeping, taking out trash, doing a lot of stuff. I don't really like hound on you for that stuff of like, like cleaning or anything.
I'm grateful for that. Yeah.
No, like, because I get that it's part of shop maintenance, you know, like making sure that you have a clean shop so that it's presentable. If somebody walks through the doors and there's like garbage bags and there's like trash all over and there's just like old rotten food, like that's not a good look. Nobody's gonna walk in and have a sense of confidence that like, oh, this is a place where I'm not gonna get MRSA, you know, like You have to walk in and it has to be clean. It has to be presentable. Everybody has to feel comfortable. So you have to hold it to the highest standard that could walk through the door. It is important. It does need to be done. It used to be a thing where it was like, that was your entire job. And if you did everything in a timely fashion and there was time left, then your mentor would kind of like show you something. They'd show you something actually tattoo related. But so mine wasn't as hardcore, where it wasn't just like, go do everything and then like, maybe I'll show you how to set up a liner. You know, it was very like, the shop was like kind of a street shop. The owner was booked out almost a year in advance at certain points, but like, yeah, he was booked out a lot, and he would book himself like back to back, like he would overbook himself. And so it was a lot of just helping him, trying to like streamline his process. So it was me setting up and breaking down his setup, you know, the way that he likes it. And then every time there was a customer, he almost always, his next customer would come in before he finished the customer he was working with. So I would, you know, greet them obviously, but like ask them what they were getting, tell him what they're getting. And then I would try to like do as good of a job as I could, like making a line drawing for him so that he would like at least have a head start. 'Cause in the beginning, it was just to give him a head start. By the end of the apprenticeship, obviously it was, or at the end of that part of because by the end of the apprenticeship, you're just tattooing.
Yeah.
But I guess like midway through it, at a certain point, I was doing the line drawings and handing it to him, and he was like, yeah, just make it a transfer. Like it was, like in the beginning, he would make adjustments and be like, okay, yeah. And he would show me like, so these ones are like too small where this will like, again, stuff I've showed you where like, okay, like the loops here are so small that those will like heal together. If it's like lettering, very often like the E's, like lowercase E's and A's, like those tiny little loops, like you want to have enough room so they don't close. Yeah. Stuff like that. So it was, I would do a line drawing and he'd be like, okay, here's what you need to change. Here's what works. Here's what doesn't work. Because it's all part of the learning process too, is everything around the tattoo, not just the tattoo itself.
Would he challenge you like creatively, or was it just solely like teaching you how to tattoo? Because I've seen like some mentors give like whole assignments of like flash to make or like just art to make in general.
He never did that. He never gave me like homework or assignments or anything like that. He just, maybe because honestly he was very busy, and so it was just about trying to make his life easier. Yeah. And he's a very diverse tattoo artist, so the clients coming in, the asks that they came with were pretty diverse. So I got a lot of practice in a lot of different styles and different like subject matter. So I didn't get homework assignments, but I had a lot of practice in a lot of different avenues just by trying to keep up with him, basically.
I do have another question. So you said like your mentor was very diverse. Do you think like people looking for an apprenticeship in general, because I also see you do like a lot of different things.
Yeah, I'm all over the place.
And do you think it's better to go for an artist like that, or like a mentor like that, or if you're like dead set on a certain style, like go to someone who just does that one thing? You know what I mean?
It kind of comes down to what your end goal is. So if you want to be a highly specialized tattoo artist, like if you just want to do American traditional, then that's what you should find. If you just want neo-trad, find an artist that just specializes in that to try to get as good at that one specific thing. But it goes both ways, because if you get incredible at any one given style, then everybody's gonna come to you for it. So you'll get business that way. But by being more diverse and being able to just like handle whatever comes through the door, you open yourself up to a lot of different customers that way, because you're not just attracting one specific, you're attracting more like a broader audience, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
So it really depends on what you want to do. Like I like the idea of being diverse and like trying to be able to accommodate anybody that comes to the door, because then if I walk into any, like if I do a guest spot or something like that, like maybe you guest at a shop that does like a lot of like traditional stuff, like okay, I could do that. And then you go and do a guest and like everybody there does like portraits. Okay, I can't do that. I'm trying to learn how to do that.
You're doing good so far.
Yeah, we just did an experiment with it, which I was very happy with how it came out. But yeah, so it's like, it depends on your end goal. If you want to be highly specialized, then find somebody that's highly specialized and try to learn from them, because they're gonna be able to teach you that one specific thing.
I definitely think like being in an apprenticeship and watching you do different things has pushed me to like go in different directions and like things that I didn't expect to like before, because I was like dead set on American traditional and I still like lean towards that way, but I've definitely like broadened my horizons.
I've seen you open up a little bit and try some different stuff.
Yeah.
And it's good. Like it's the other thing too is I feel like when you start learning other styles, there might be something there that you can bring back to a different style. Like a lot of people when they do portraits will just do it with a shader and there's no line work in it at all. Or if they do line work, it's the last thing they do and it's just to like kind of punch up certain areas. I love the look of portraits with an actual good like hard bold outline. I think it's a really good look and I think it holds the image in place.
Yeah.
But everything comes down to preferences. It's like everything is so subjective. So it's I don't know. I personally like the diverse approach, but that's not for everybody.
Yeah, just person to person kind of thing. What are like the major changes that you've seen in like apprenticeships over the years and just sort of the tattooers that have been coming out of it?
I haven't seen a lot of apprenticeships. So I saw a couple of different apprentices come and go at my former shop, at the shop where I learned and everything. And I like just, I guess more recently since I've been here and since like I've been working with, because this is my first time I'm trying to learn how to be a mentor. And I apologize for that. It's a little bit of experiment in all directions, I guess, but
No, you're doing a good job.
Thank you. I'm trying. But no, especially like looking online and like reading some of the like different subreddits of people trying to learn and people trying to apprentice and trying to like teach themselves. The next generation, and it's not just tattooing, it like branches out, but there's such a crazy sense of entitlement with some people where they walk through the door and they refuse to do any of like the menial tasks. It's like below them, and I don't understand it. They come in, they're not willing to, they're like, show me everything that you know, but I'm not willing to do anything to earn it. It's like, oh, okay, that's like
just kind of want it given.
Yeah,
to you.
and it's like you are not that, so I don't want you to think that I think that that's what you're doing at all.
I don't think I would be sitting here.
No, no, I would have just sent you right back out the door and just waved goodbye and never thought a second thought about it.
Yeah.
But no, I do see like a lot of people have that where they think that they deserve everything, and then they're like, well, I'll just go find the shop that's gonna give me the keys to the Lamborghini with no anything in between to earn it or to. It's a lot of that too with apprenticing is it's to weed out the people that actually want to be here, that actually like understand, appreciate, respect the roots of where it all comes from, because like I feel like it is unique in a way because it's not just like, it's an industry, but it's also like a culture. It has its own everything. There's even like, there's cultures within the culture. You know what I mean? Like, there's like very niche like anime dudes. There's like traditional guys. There's portrait guys. Like, there's so many different facets to it that like to just come in and think that like, oh, well, I took an art class at community college, so you should just show me everything, and that's what you like. It's almost like it's a benefit to me in some way of like, you're welcome, you get to teach me. Like, no.
Yeah. So
yeah, the apprenticeship, and a lot of those people too will then turn around and call people like gatekeepers and assholes and stuff like that. And it's like, no, it's not gatekeeping if you're just trying to like, I guess maybe it is, but it's not gatekeeping in like a malicious sense that you're trying to like keep people away from it. It's less that you're trying to keep people away and more that you're trying to like protect it, because it's like, it is very sacred to all of us. Like, it's something that everybody holds very near and dear, which you're probably already learning.
Yeah.
And that's part of the reason too why when you came in I was like open to it, is because I know that you already have like a very fundamental like respect for it. which not everybody has. A lot of people come in and they're just like, I don't know, they treat it as though it's just like walking into a Starbucks and asking for a job or something. I don't know. It's weird. Maybe it's always been that way. I've definitely seen it go more that way in recent years. Where it's crazy. And people like doing stick and poke shit at home, which that's always been there, because like I remember kids in high school and middle school giving themselves shitty little mushrooms and stuff like that. Like there's so many of those floating around.
Yeah.
Which are fine because that's just job security, because hey, I'll fix it. But,
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I've fixed plenty of those. But in like the access to supplies through like Amazon. So like when I started tattooing, you had to be at a like verified established shop. You had to like reach out to the suppliers in advance basically and get like permission to shop on their website.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like if you like when you went to, you know, you can go on like different suppliers and like make an account. So like when you'd go to make an account, they had to actually like a person had to check your credentials and approve it before you were allowed to log in and shop. Like any
That's
random
insane.
But it is and it isn't,
Yeah.
you know, because it's like they wanted to make sure that they weren't supplying scratchers that were going to be giving people scars and infections and just causing all kinds of problems. Because really it's like background checks for buying firearms. You know what I mean? Like you're giving somebody something that is potentially dangerous, so you're making sure that they have the knowledge to know how to make it not dangerous or to limit the danger.
Yeah.
So it used to be that you had to have, it was like a lot more rigorous, where now any of the sites, like you can just make an account, you can go on Amazon and get anything from China, and it's just like, it's crazy. So there's so many people that are like, oh, I'm just teaching myself. And it's like, okay, good luck.
Yeah. It's crazy too seeing like you said, just people wanting an apprenticeship and having done like no research.
No,
I feel like
none.
going into any field, like I found the history of like tattooing and stuff so interesting, and just researching like the big names in the industry and just like how tattooing like evolved and all that. And going into any career, like you need, like they teach you that in school, like the history of whatever you're going into. So why wouldn't you want to like educate yourself? And it's just also like, I don't know, just people, just trying to get into it, and
So-
like they don't watch a single YouTube video.
No.
Like you can just look it up, like and
So
get some advice.
I
but
find so much of it fascinating too. So like tattooing literally goes back as far as humanity.
yeah,
So like, do you know what the Iceman is? Otzi? Have you ever like read about,
oh, I've heard of it.
or did I already tell you about it?
I probably heard from
It's-
you. Yeah.
It's like the oldest, it may not be at this point, they may have found something else, but for a long time, maybe still currently, it was the oldest mummified remains found of a human. So it's literally thousands of years ago, it was frozen in ice and like just naturally mummified.
Yeah.
They found like a bunch of different things and learned a bunch of things about just humanity, or humans as like a species. That he had like, you know, leather clothing, whatever. He had bows and arrows, his bow and his arrows, and the feathers on the arrow were actually rifled.
Oh damn.
So they had like a basic understanding of like aerodynamics, that a spinning arrow is more accurate.
Oh.
And he had tattoos. It's
Like a lot.
He had like it if I'm not mistaken, he had like religious symbols tattooed on him. Like he not he wasn't Christian obviously, like but he had like symbols that they just had lined up with other, like, I don't know if it was like cave drawings or what they found, that there was like a common, but they found symbols that were recognizable, that they were like, holy shit. He has, sorry, do you have swears on your channel?
No, I'm not monetized. I swear all the time. You're good.
Okay. Yes, it was just, I don't know. Stuff like that I find fascinating. And so literally tattooing has been around since humans have been around, basically. That it was, you know, the ink was made from like ashes is like a really common way how it started. So it's just, I don't know. It's very interesting to me and it's very crazy. And to walk into a field and have zero knowledge, zero interest, just be like, no, it's just like, I want to get a job drawing on people. I don't give a shit. I want to turn people into doodle bears and detention desks and have them look like dumb assholes. It doesn't matter. It's art, so it can look shitty.
Yeah.
There's so many like excuses and so many just people putting out shitty tattoos and saying like, well, no, it's art. It's like, okay, yeah, It is. It can look shitty. It's intentional. There is a line between it though of like something looking bad intentionally.
Yeah.
And something looking bad unintentionally. If you go to put
Tell. Yeah.
oh, you can definitely tell.
Yeah.
And well, the other thing too is like I've had people also like ask if I'd show them some basic stuff because they just want to do it as like a hobby, and it's like you can't.
It's not really a hobby.
It can't. It like I get it. Like it's your body or your friends' fucking bodies, or like you can do whatever you want, like freedom of will or whatever. But like to actually do it as a career and everything, like you can't just. It shouldn't be a hobby. I don't know. Like everybody can do what they want. I don't think it should be a hobby because if you're doing it at home, you're putting yourself and you're putting other people at risk. The risk of infection is like crazy. The risk of causing harm to somebody, like causing scarring or giving them like, I don't know. It used to be like, you've taken like the bloodborne pathogens. Like there's so many things that could go wrong that like.
Yeah, I didn't even realize.
Yeah.
Until I like took that.
But like you wouldn't recreationally like just take up surgery as a hobby. You know what I mean? Like, like I'm just gonna start taking out appendixes on the side for fun as like a side hustle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Like.
Yeah. Do you have like what are your key pieces of advice for someone looking for an apprenticeship besides like obviously educating yourself beforehand?
If you're looking for an apprenticeship, if you're tattooing at home, stop it. Draw as much as you can. Trace, which I think is something that a lot of people discount. So like when you started, you probably realized quickly that, oh, a lot of it is tracing. Because when you're drawing, if you're doing a drawing and you're just doing it one time, it doesn't matter. You draw that line, that's the way that line is. That's where it is. That's where it's gonna be. If you now need to double back and go over that line again and have it be perfect and trace it, that's different. That's a different skill set. It's different like muscles. It's more important, arguably, than just the drawing of it. Because if you can draw something, but can you draw the same thing twice and have it be exactly the same?
Yeah. That's deep.
So
I didn't think about
but
that.
no, so
Yeah,
like
that's true.
if you draw the same thing multiple times, it'll come out different every time. But that's why tracing is, I feel like, overlooked and incredibly important, because with lettering, with all these different things, and even practice tracings of like tattoo artists, other designs that like maybe it's an artist that you like and you respect, just grab and like take a line drawing from it just to practice tracing, because then you're practicing that style. Yes, draw as much as you can, trace even more. Take like a little bit of time to kind of try to learn like colors and how, like, you don't have to go crazy and take like a full color
Like
theory
color
class.
Wheel. Know your color wheel.
Yeah, like color wheel's good, like knowing what happens when two colors interact. Like basic stuff of like, hey, if blue and yellow go together, that's gonna be green in the middle. Like some people don't realize stuff like that.
Yeah.
And the other thing too is like complementary colors. So like if you put blue and orange together, you know what you get in the middle?
Brown.
Yeah. No matter how much you know, there's always something that you don't. And to just always like try to keep a thirst for knowledge, keep an open mind, and be open to feedback, and try not to take it too personally if somebody does give you feedback. I always feel bad giving you feedback.
Why?
Because
It
part of
always
me
comes out better in the end.
But part of me always feels like a jerk of being like, God, I'm nitpicking shit. But it's like, I am nitpicking sometimes, but it's, a lot of it is, I feel like your biggest thing, and I've said it to you so many times, is just to picture the actual animal or the actual like, oh, if a person was in this position, how would the hands interact with this? How would like a bracelet interact on an arm? Like all those little things of like to think not just about like the drawing or the art, but to think about the actual, like if it existed in 3D space, how would everything sit and how would it all look? Like that stuff is all important. It's all just, I guess, like fundamental design stuff. Yeah, and I mean, if you want to get a head start on apprenticeship, you can take a bloodborne pathogen class online. Like they're not expensive. I took a first aid class online because it was funny, because they give you a little like virtual, like very poorly voice acted, like, oh no, he's fallen over. What do you do? It's like
Yeah.
those dumb little scenarios of like, secure the area, call for help,
Yeah.
like that type of stuff.
Just easier to have out of the way.
Yeah, just be like, oh, I already
Yeah.
took care of those, just
Yeah.
to get a head start on it. It does show a level of initiative. Be open-minded. Ask for ways to improve. Find an artist. So find an artist that you can reliably show up to. So like if it's within like a comfortable driving range from your home or whatever your radius is, that you can get there reliably. Finding an artist that you respect, that you feel comfortable with, that you respect their work and their bedside manner, because all that stuff is very important, and they have the availability and they're open to it. And don't get discouraged. That word did not want to leave my mouth.
That's okay.
Don't get discouraged if the first few people tell you no, because it may not just be one and done. You may have to like look around and find people, but let it build you up and like get you used to being told no.
Yeah, I went to like over 15 shops.
Does a lot.
Maybe more. Yeah. It was a lot. It was very draining.
I'm glad you're here.
Thanks. I cried a lot. It was funny. Well, I think that's
On
good
the road to here, you cried a lot, or when?
No. Like just in the process. I remember one day I went to like 5 in one day.
Yeah.
That was not good for my mental health.
It was too much.
Yeah. Thankfully, like everyone was nice, but it was just like a lot of rejection to like handle in one day.
I get that.
And just very discouraging hearing the same thing over and over again. It would be either like they had an apprentice and they just dipped, or they like it didn't work out and they were like, we don't want to go through
Oh, so
that
they had a
again.
bad experience with an apprentice?
Yeah, it would either
Okay.
be that, or they just like don't want to take one on, like don't have the time or whatever. They're like, you'll find one though. And I'm like, but where? And it was just kind of like going down
Just
the
checking off.
grapevine. Yeah, and then I guess that can like lead into sort of how we got to where we are. So I like started out, it was like 2019. My parents got me like a tattoo machine and I was scratching away. I was just going crazy.
Yeah.
Me and my friends for like a few years, and then I realized like how much I liked it, because I feel like I always kind of had it in the back of my mind as a career growing up, but I thought it was too hard and like too much of a responsibility to put something on someone forever, and I didn't think I would be good at it. But you know, you just gotta believe in yourself, you know what I mean?
Yeah, believe in yourself.
Yeah, I didn't have like the confidence, you know what I mean? I didn't. And I also just like drawing, like up until the portfolio I gave you, definitely like going to school and stuff helped getting some of the fundamentals down. Honestly, probably could have learned that on like YouTube. It would have been like the same. But yeah, just like drawing and scratching on people like made me realize how much I liked doing it, and then just went hard for like a year building up a portfolio, and then I started hunting, and then I just, in no real order, just started going to like all the different shops that I thought put out like good work, or like I had been there before or whatever. And then I was going to go to the shop that you were at, but I didn't know you were not there. Because I did when I also, even more backstory, you tattooed me when I was like 18.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I like had talked about it like right when I was 18 that I was interested in it. Yeah.
You did.
Yeah.
You gave me a painting that I still have.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'll recreate that in another YouTube video.
Yeah,
But-
I have, I think 2 from you.
Yeah. I need to redraw those. They're really bad.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
That's a homework assignment. Like, I think you should do those again now to see like the difference.
Yeah, but I had that, and then I came back to you a few times like here and there, because I was like in school, coming home and stuff. And then I remember you telling me to like come into the shop and just talk to the owner and be like, you know, show them my work. And then I didn't even have like a portfolio. Like I had the portfolio booklet, but it was just like art I drew in like Sharpie, like no tattooable designs. Like it wasn't bad, but it was not something
That still is like a viable thing though, because even if it's not something that's intended for tattoos or something that's tattooable, it still shows if you have an eye for composition and for like things like flow and like contrast and line weights and stuff like that. Like it still gives a sense of if you have an idea of some of that stuff.
Yeah.
From like a design side of it.
Yeah, it wasn't very good. And he was just like, not right now. And then he like suggested piercing, and I was like, I'll like think about it and like get back in contact. And then I like put it on the back burner just cause like school and stuff.
Oh, the other thing, avoid tattoo schools. Don't do it.
Yeah,
Don't go to a tattoo school. So tattoo schools are a scam. If you see them, like it may sound good on the surface of like, oh, what do you mean? It's just like there's no, because they're all the ones I've seen are predominantly online. It's like Zoom meetings and YouTube videos, which like, sure, somebody can tell you some fundamental like skills and different things or like exercise or whatever, but like you've seen it in the time that you've been here. You really need somebody there with you that sees what you're doing, that's like watching you, to make corrections or give feedback, to be like, okay, so, your hand speed is going like too fast or too slow for your machine speed. So like either slow your hand down or speed the machine up, or like there's so many different little like very nuanced things that you cannot get just from watching a video or for someone on Zoom just telling you, this is how I do it. Like it just, they're not saying that it's completely without value, but it is not. It's not what they're telling you it is. Yeah. Because a lot of these schools are making you think that, oh, okay, you come and give us 500 or 5,000 or 10,000, whatever I don't even know what they charge now, but telling you like, oh, you just pay us this, we give you a bank of lessons on video, and we do Zoom meetings where like you do show and tell with like your fake skins or whatever. Like it's not going to give you the good fundamental like skill set that you need. Like you really need to find an apprenticeship. Don't just like do fake skin from Amazon and put it on Reddit and think that people are going to be able to like guide you to a career. Because it's just, like, are there people out there who have self-taught and have succeeded? Sure. But like, is it the best way and like the clearest road to success? I don't think it is. There's certain countries where like the standard is teaching themselves and they don't have apprenticeships. So like if you're in one of those countries, then I guess that's your only option. But in America and the other countries that do apprenticeships, find an apprenticeship. Don't do a tattoo school. It is a waste of money. And there's a lot of shops where if you go into a shop and say like, oh, I just finished tattoo school, they're gonna be like, cool. Are you ready to start an apprenticeship, or what do you, like, and that's the other thing too, is people coming from those tattoo schools have an even bolder sense of entitlement, because they're like, no, I paid money for this, I'm done. Like, I've learned, I'm ready to make money now. And it's like, well, no. I'm so sorry, but you're not.
Yeah, a lot of tattoo shops look down on that.
Honestly, it's like right there on like almost like close, if not the same level as just being a scratcher, because you still are a scratcher. You're just a scratcher that's been like guided a little bit. Yeah. Because they don't really, from what I've seen, it's not a lot of feedback. It's not a lot of like, I don't think there's any one-on-one time. If there is, it's like maybe through Zoom. It's like not, some of them do have campuses where you go in, I think, but I don't know where that is or how much that costs. And I think some of those, what they do is they teach you, and then once you're trained, they'll either put you in one of their shops or they'll ask you to train the next class. Like it's like, it's a scheme. It's just not, it's not the thing. It's not the thing. Don't do it. Stay away from it. Good. Just don't. Just say no.
Like just from tattooing at home, like I wasn't doing anything like super crazy, like skill-wise. Like I didn't push my limits that far, but even just being here in like less than 6 months, I feel like I've skyrocketed in like learning, versus learning by myself was like so much harder. It was not like fun trying to figure, and it's like sucks that it had to be on like you know, other people. If they didn't turn out good, like, that kind of sucks. Oh, I didn't really get into how I officially got my apprenticeship with you. So, well, just the fact that I was at, obviously you were the last shop that I went to.
Yeah, it would have been a little fucked up if you got an apprenticeship and then still were seeking out another shop. I'd be a little offended.
Yeah, but yeah, you definitely, I just wanted to like emphasize on that because like when I came in and I showed you my stuff and then I told you I was like tattooing at home like previously and you were kind of like, eh. I was always curious because like you took, I don't remember if it was a couple days or like a week or what, but you like sat on it.
I think it was over the weekend.
Yeah. And you like sat on it. Like what were you thinking about it specifically? Like what were you taking into consideration? Just to kind of see like the mentor perspective of it.
More than anything, I guess it's on a personal note, I'm just trying to not be as impulsive. I'm trying to not like, just be like, hell yeah, to everything. Like I'm trying to like sleep on it and think through things. Just because I think coming at anything with like a calm, clear head with even just like a moment of space from a situation gives you some clarity and gives you some better views on anything, I guess, or I don't know, a fully formed opinion.
Yeah.
But no, after the conversation I had with you, so you were open and honest about the fact that you previously had tattooed at home. You were open and honest about the fact that you looked into it, found out that that was not really great, that it was frowned upon, so you had already stopped on your own. That was big, because it showed that you had enough like presence of mind to do the research because it actually meant something to you. And then not just did the research, but also followed it. Because there are people that will look and say, like, how do I get an apprenticeship? And it's like, step one, stop fucking up your friends. And they're like, I'll just keep doing
it.
And like, so it shows that you did the research, that you were open to changing your mindset based on what what you found or what you were told or what you read. I knew that so like, again, I tattooed you when you were 18, but that wasn't the first time I met you. You came in with a friend or a boyfriend or something like that when you were like 16 or 17. I didn't tattoo you, but we had a conversation because I remember you asking like, how do you get into tattoo? Like it was funny because once in a while you'll have a customer who people bring friends all the time, but usually your conversations with the customer and the friend is just kind of like sitting on their phone, like fiddling and like maybe occasionally interjecting some thought or like participating, but it was the opposite. So you were there with your friend. You and I were having a conversation because you were asking me about how you get into tattooing and what it's like and all this different stuff. And the guy that you were with, I don't remember him talking at all. We had a very limited conversation. And so like I remember that conversation. You after the fact came back and gave me the paintings and were like, these are things I've been working on. I thought you might like them. And I was like, that's really cool. I was like, I appreciate it. Like, and I did keep them. And like, so when you came in,
I planted the seed.
You did, honestly. Like,
Yeah.
So you came in, that was what, 7 years? I don't remember how old you are now, but
24 minus 18 or 16. Yeah, like 7?
Yeah, like 6, 7 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you were still, like I knew that you have had the interest in it. You had the right level of respect, you had the right level of drive. The weekend after you came back, that more than anything was just like giving myself a little bit of space to make sure I wasn't just like, I don't know, reacting to like, I don't know.
Get too excited.
Yeah, just like, I also wanted to make sure that I wasn't like, I don't know, part of it is also self-doubt of me going like, I'm not going to be a good teacher, like I shouldn't do that, like I should let her find a better shop. Is part of it also. It's just like, I have like wicked imposter syndrome, like on a huge,
I feel that,
huge amount of that. And it's difficult, and it's like, it's a tough thing to work through. So it's like, part of it is me having imposter syndrome, being like, I should let her go find somebody better. And but then like being like, no, like allowing you to choose here, and then like I thought it was a good fit, and so I was just,
Yeah.
I have no regrets.
Me too. I think it's working out. I think the biggest takeaway is to not give up and resort to the bad things. Like,
No.
yeah, to don't, just because you're not getting an apprenticeship now, just don't resort to doing it at home or like going to.
But even that, change that mindset. Not even
Why?
that you're not getting, but you haven't yet found.
Yeah, there you go.
You're still like,
You haven't had that conversation yet.
yeah, a
Yeah.
conversation I had with somebody recently. It's not a failure until you give up. So like, if you just haven't found it yet, you haven't failed, you're still on the path to find the right place.
Yeah, I just hear that a lot of people, like, they get into one of two things, like the school or learning at home, because they feel like they're never gonna get there. But I don't know, I felt that way. And
The easy path is seldom the right path.
yeah. Yeah, it's better to just wait for the right,
Yeah.
the
So
right time.
like I did a lot of sales jobs, and it's almost like sales, where it's, you know, you get 10 no's before you hear one yes kind of a thing. You know, like you don't know. It's finding the right place. So like, just don't give up and resort to the easier, lower quality. And that's the other thing too, is if you haven't found the right shop, to not just go to the first shop that says yes if it's shady or if it like you don't feel comfortable there.
Yeah,
like-
or if the artist isn't good, like
Yeah.
that, like that.
Yeah.
How do you even learn from that?
I don't know. I've seen people do that too, where they go to like a shop that has like a piss poor artist, and they just go for long enough to get like their license signed off on, and they're like, okay, now get me out of here. And like, okay, like it's literally one notch above teaching yourself.
I feel like your end goal should be to want to stay there, you know?
Hopefully, that's
Yeah.
that would be the ideal situation, is that you find a place that you want to be. Like, hey, I want to be part of that team.
Yeah, like everybody there, and
Yeah, vibe well and just like feel comfortable. You can be yourself.
if you can't watch Flavor of Love, then I don't think
All
you should
the
go there.
of love garbage TV.
That's our favorite show.
Yeah.
It's the best
It's
show
it's a guilty pleasure. The of love lane.
of the whole series.
Yeah,
It's fantastic.
it's a delicious flavor of trash.
Yeah, it's really good. I think we covered all the grounds though. I got all my questions in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And hey, I also subscribe, and I do see the videos. So like, if anybody has questions, by all means, comment it. I'll answer it in the comment section. So
Yay. Yeah, and we'll do more videos in the future.
yeah, I bought
cover.
microphones, so we have to.
Yeah, plenty of videos. Maybe we'll do like a little podcast kind of thing.
We could.
Once in a while.
It's
Yeah,
entirely up to you.
get a topic and run with
Sure.
it. Okay. Well, thank you.
We'll analyze your stuff every week. We'll pick one thing that you've done and analyze it and tear it apart.
Ooh, that's good. I like that. I like that. We could do like a review.
If you'd like that, comment. What
Comment below.
And you know what? There's your next assignment. So somebody comment like a subject matter, a style, and we'll make her do it.
Okay. Sure, I'll do it.
And then we'll
Yeah.
tear it apart for the internet.
Yeah, I want you to be brutal.
I tend to not be, but I can be.
Okay, just for the video.
Just for the video.
Not all
Once
the
you stop recording, stop.
I might cry. I was kidding.
Cool.
Okay, sounds good. Well, thank you everyone for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you, Stevie, for coming on. He'll be back.
Thanks for having me.
You
Yeah,
guys
I'm
will
always
see
here.
me. Yeah, but have a great day. Bye.